Okay, that's it.
Cool.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Welcome back to the Niche Cast. My name is Adam, and you are joined once again by Cameron.
Adam's the gamer and chef.
Yes, that. We're also joined by Jack.
What's up? What's popping, low gang?
Don't say that again. And we're joined by Jacob.
I'm pretty sure that has to be cut. Like, that's all, like, different people's sayings.
No,
Like,
okay.
every
It's fine.
single one of those.
Fine.
Well, we'll just censor it in with Boat Guy.
The lost episode.
Boat Guy is
You won't
new
know this until
podcast.
later on, but we just spent 40 minutes recording an episode that kind of turned into Jacob's
It
therapy
was
session.
just
So
Jacob talking about a breakup he went through.
you'll hear it eventually as a Discord exclusive
Hey,
or
man,
something like that.
It's not fun.
Beautiful. It really is beautiful. Cam, did I ever tell the story about how I broke my arm?
I don't think you did. I want to
think
hear
did.
this.
Okay. I punched a guy in the balls, is the short form of that story.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Cam,
yeah.
what's your story? I'm kidding. Jack, go on.
I like to lead with that sentence, because it's not nearly as funny as, like, that one sentence. I was just playing. I was playing baseball, and I'd never played baseball before, and I was in the outfield, and someone hit a ball up, and I didn't see the other outfielder standing there ready to catch the ball, and I started running and like following it with my hand, and as I brought my hand down, I punched him straight in the nuts and just snapped my arm.
Oh my god.
Ow.
Yeah, it was interesting, and then we got to the hospital, and literally every person there said, "Well, where's the other guy?" I was like, I don't know. I think he's still playing. I don't know how, though.
Well, if he's wearing a jock strap or whatever, then that would have
No.
been why.
No,
You mean a
we
cup,
didn't have
right?
jockstrap. We didn't
This-
have cups.
Really?
Yeah.
And your
Balls were
you,
annihilated.
you were playing baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a childhood eugenics program going on right now.
Is that
Which
what that was?
which can happen to
God.
stand in the wrong spot today.
So yeah,
God.
that's the whole
Well, I mean,
story. Actually,
way-
there is a little more to that story. I'd already been selected to play Julius Caesar in the grade 5 play. So I showed up with a fucking cast on my arm, and my teacher was pissed. And then, but my first day back, I decided I wanted to scooter to school because I'm a cool grade 5 kid who rides a scooter to school.
I'm
Rides
sorry,
the
you were in the
scooters.
5th grade and your teacher was pissed off you broke your arm. What the?
Because he was putting a lot of work into this Julius Caesar play, and I show up
Yeah.
with a cast on my arm.
He just really wanted to see you get stabbed.
Yeah, exactly. He's been waiting for it all year. And then,
A2
so I'm riding my scooter to school, and I'm doing it with one hand, and I hit a rock, and I slam my head into the pavement on my first day back. And I walk into the front office, bleeding from the head with a giant goose egg, and a fucking cast on my arm. And she's like,
God.
"What the fuck is going on at this house? Jesus Christ!" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I think I just need to go see a doctor."
Insane.
Excuse me, miss. Please.
God. That reminds me of the time Adam and I were stagehands in our grade 6 play.
Oh, God.
And what it consisted of was us working the projector behind this big thing called the Big Wheel, because it was like a play called Clowns.
Okay.
And obviously they have a big wheel with lights around it.
Of course.
Yeah, and it lights up, and there was just this one dude who was just kind of really annoying that was voicing the Big Wheel. I can't even remember his performance. I just remember Adam and I had to dress up in like all black. We looked like we were about to rob a bank.
Yeah.
And we're just hiding behind, like poking our heads around to see what's going on.
I got out of actually having to act because the big wheel has lights on it that light up whenever the big wheel speaks. So the entire time with the play, you know those Christmas light extension cords that have the button on them on the bottom? The
yeah,
entire
yeah.
time with the play, I was just sitting there tapping the button at the same more or less pace as the person who was speaking, so it would light up whenever they spoke. That's all I had to do.
And then
awesome.
I remember, like, with me, I think they had like this projector screen, and we were just putting like videos and stuff on there, and I'm pretty sure a few of them were like pivot stick figure animations.
Yes, they definitely were. They definitely
That's great.
were.
Made by 6th graders, so they're just like, you know, like 1 frame per second.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No,
Oh, man.
I managed to find my buddy's pivot channel the other day. And
Oh my god.
It's amazing.
A true time capsule right there.
Yeah, there's some weird shit.
Speaking of weird shit, I think Adam has a story for us.
Go
Yes,
on.
yes. So, fans of the podcast at this point should know the lore of the Hubcap Hooligan. And I believe this would have been a fair amount after the Hubcap Hooligan.
Oh yeah, a fair amount after the hubcap incident.
Had his tirade. So, a couple years after that and a couple years ago from this point, more or less. So, one day, after dinner, get this text from the Hubcap Hooligan saying, "Hey, man, this person who, we've mentioned to you in passing has a birthday. Do you want to show up?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I got nothing better to do." So, I bus up to this apartment. I walk over to this apartment, and they're all drinking. So I'm like, "Okay, cool. We're going to have some drinks, hang out. It'll be a good time." So I start catching up with the hooligan, and that's when he's like, "Oh man, we're gonna go to the casino. Do you want to come?" I was like, "That's expensive. I'm not going to the casino." He's like, "No, we're not gonna go to the slots. We're just gonna go to the club or the bar." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, that's fine." They call an Uber, and we keep drinking. And somebody screams, "The Uber is here!" And we all get a mad panic to get downstairs as quickly as we can, so this dude doesn't drive off. Then someone yells, grab the drink," which was a 2.6 of Captain Morgan. Right. One of them was a 2.6 of Captain Morgan. The other was a 40 of Captain Morgan.
Of course.
I had the 2.6. Hubcap Hooligan brought the 40 with him. And we're in the Uber drinking, and we eventually pull up to one of the casinos in the area, and they have sort of like a driving circle or a turn-in circle or a bus lane if it were in a high school. I guess you could call it that sort of thing, a driveway. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We each step out of the Ubers, and there's like maybe 8 of us here across 2 cars. So we all step out, and we decide we're going to keep drinking before going in. So we walk over to the side of the building where we're out of the way, and we're drinking there a little bit more. I'm catching up more, and we put the bottles down out of the way so that we could theoretically come back to them. They'd be hard to find. We go into the casino. At this point, Hubcap Hooligan is just wrecked. This dude is stumbling in. And we're hanging out in the main kind of area. We go to the bar for a bit, and then we're like, all right, main show. We're gonna go to the club. So we all kind of, some of us walk, some of us stumble our way over to the lineup, and we get in line, and that's when I notice that they have a security guard. Anyone who knows me knows I carry a knife on me all the time because they're useful.
Right. Okay, yeah.
So I'm sitting here, and I'm like, dude, I have a knife on me, and I physically can't get back down the stairs because it's starting to really pack up with people. I guess they just opened or had a big enough wave of people leaving. So my solution, while tipsy, is to go to the security guard and go, "Listen, man, my friends didn't tell me we're going to the casino, and I kind of brought a knife with me." That's when I pull it out of my pocket and show it to him. No. And he goes, "Oh," and I was like, "I'm just telling you this up front so there isn't, any confusion. I'll let you hold on to it. I'll pick it up later,
when I stab the guy, it's just so that you know it was me.
No, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy.
Like,
I'm a nice guy.
Look, sometime the dealer fucked you over. You gotta bring a little insurance,
You gotta bring the heat, fam. So the security guard's just like, okay, and then he lets me through anyways. And I'm sitting in the club, and we're all just doing club stuff, hanging out, talking to some new people, ordering some drinks, and Hubcap Hooligan and I decide we're gonna go out for some fresh air. And when we're stumbling our way outside, that's when the security manager approaches me. He's like, "You're the guy with the knife, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me. How can I help you?" And he's like, "Let's go have a chat." And I was like, shit. I'm so fucked. So he walks me out to the front of the building, and he's just like, "You're not in trouble." And I was like, "Okay, cool. But you did bring a knife to a club." And thankfully you were clear, and you spoke to our security professionals, and there's no misunderstanding, and that's great. We appreciate it. But we can't let you back in the building. Because he basically said my boss said no,
Yeah.
like you
Right.
can't be back here, and he was perfectly kind and nice, but I was very drunk at this point, so I was just like, yeah, bro, like I got you. So I walk over to the side. I go to walk over where our rum is, and he's giving me a look like that's still the property. Don't go over there. So I walk away. I go to McDonald's and I get some food, and I'm hanging out, and I'm trying to convince the hooligan to, like, let's go home. And he is just sending me incoherent message after incoherent message, and eventually
No, wait, whoa! I gotta interject. Now, by incoherent message, do you mean like, "Hey man, we should go back to the club, but you're just too drunk to understand," or is it?
No, it's
Okay. All right.
It's that one, because sometimes he called me and made those sounds through the phone as well. So eventually he convinces me to come back to the casino. Just go get our rum and wait for the Uber. And I'm not thinking clearly, so I'm like, I guess the security man's gonna be gone now, so it'll be fine. As if he wouldn't have told every single one of his personnel what happened, right? So I go over to the side, I get our drinks, and I'm not really sure to what extent I'm on the property, but I'm waiting for this Uber, and I'm waiting for this dude. Uber pulls up, he says hooligan's name. I said, yeah, I'm with them. I get in, and I see him at the front of the door, stumbling his way out. Like, it's a big array of glass doors, so really I could see him stumbling towards the doors, open the door, stumble out of the door. But I saw the whole thing happen. I said, come here. Like, Uber's here, dude. Come on, let's go. And he's like, all right. He's just having the best time of his life. And then that's when, I messed up part. So, before the Uber got there, me and some of the other people I was with linked up with them to go find our rum, and then that's when we had some. Mine had a dart in it, so I almost threw up when I sloshed that thing down. But aside from that, I still had this bottle of dart rum in the car because someone insisted I should still bring it with me. I just couldn't drink it, obviously. So Hooligan looks at me, he's like, bro, you're just being a pussy. So he swaps bottles to this other one that's perfectly fine. I have that, and I get more drunk, and then he just sloshes this thing back, and he chokes a bit. And then he rolls down, if I remember correctly, rolls down the window and either pulls it out of his mouth or spits it out of his mouth, or something like that. Like this basically happened to me too, but I had the bottle in my mouth still, so I kind of just let it go back down. But he took that bottle from me without too much question, so I was like, he's not gonna listen, so whatever. Cameron pointed out, when it comes to these things, I'm never the one in trouble or causing trouble. I'm always adjacent to trouble.
Right.
I'm the wrangler. I'm the one who's there to wrangle.
He's the wrangler.
He really is the wrangler.
No, like, you don't understand. This story, I'm mostly focusing on the hooligan, but there were other people there who were going wild, such as a certain model friend of ours who was also at this birthday.
Oh no.
That was quite entertaining.
We gotta update Gamer in Chief to Wrangler in Chief.
Wrangler in
I
Chief.
feel like that really
Wrangler and Chef.
really sets the bar
Wrangler
for
and
what
Chef.
it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyways, Uber drops us off like 18 million miles away from Hooligan's home, so we have to walk through this sort of walking gap between some fences and some houses, and then we have to walk all the way down the street and then maybe cross a street or two. And this is really when things could have ended extremely poorly, because this is a street that happened to have a bunch of embassies on it. So naturally, he thinks it's hilarious that he can get drunk in 17 different countries. makes a point of stumbling as far as he's seemingly comfortable to onto their property. Maybe he'll yell something, maybe he won't. and then he'll stumble back onto the road where he's back on Canadian soil. And
Oh my god.
legally speaking, at least. So we're getting to the end of the road, and then that's when the road itself does a bend, and at the end of this bend is the Russian consulate. And then that's when he's like banging into the fences because they're all fenced up and you can't just walk onto their property like some of the smaller countries' embassies are, because their embassies are more or less just like townhomes, honestly, if you've seen some of the smaller ones. But this is a proper embassy, right? Or a consulate or whatever. So
like this place had cameras all over the place.
Oh, it
had guards out there.
It didn't
all
just
hours.
have cameras. It had people inside the building, like clearly aware of our presence. Because at a couple of points, I noticed people flick lights on inside, like the curtains would light up behind them, and you'd maybe see a figure in them. And then that's when I would go, "Dude, hurry up! Let's go! Let's get a move on." So we eventually get back to his house, and he's just destroyed. He's ripped. He's trashed. He's lying on the ground, and I'm sending obviously more of this to
He's
people.
sending me pictures.
Do you remember the video I sent you of me kicking him?
Yes.
Yeah, I know it looks Cam. I know that looks gentle, but I was kicking him very hard. Like I could have, if I was wearing boots and not like shoes, I would have broken his ribs for sure. But eventually he sobers up just enough to decide he wants to pick up sharp cooking implements, and he decides he's going to make food. So he starts making food. I'm eating some Fruit Loops because I'm hungry, and he's just acting like a complete ass with all these things. And then we finish our meal. He finishes the food. We eat it. We just chat some more, and then I look over. I'm in his basement apartment. I look over to the right. I walk 3 steps. I sit down on his couch. I turn around, and his head is sticking in the freezer, and he's asleep.
What?
Like, you know how a fridge has a freezer on top of them?
I think I have a picture of it lying around. So
I
I'm gonna
will
go
send
find it.
you guys all of this.
Oh man.
Somewhere between that and him explaining, I think he was explaining how he got his fedora, or explaining how he didn't know where he got this fedora. I eventually just passed out and went to sleep. And I woke up with several messages from people later, like, do you know where this person is? Are you with them? Did you guys go back? And I responded to all of the people with, yeah, didn't he tell you? And then he only told like 2 people. And I guess they didn't tell anyone else. And
Of course.
yeah, like that.
That is an amazing picture.
For context to people listening at home, I just sent them one of the pictures Adam was talking about.
That's one of them, but I'll
yeah, that's one of them.
I'll be sure to send more. But yeah, looking back, not sure how I didn't end that night with a police record, all things considered. But
yeah,
to be fair, I really didn't do anything that illegal. So
No.
It's
Just brought a knife into a club and could have, you know.
well, no, because I realized the mistake in the lineup, and I was like, hey, like, hold on, like, listen to what I have to say, and I explained it to them. But it was just like, I constantly ended up getting roped into something. That whole night was me getting roped into something, so I could get roped into something else, so I could get roped into something worse. And I was...
So I just found another picture. He busted up one of the fences of the consulate.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
no.
of one of the... yes, that's right.
Oh my
because
god.
I
Whoa.
remember I had to walk back the way we came to get to the nearest bus stop, and I came... I came by it again, and I was like, hold on. That wasn't like that.
I'm eating his Fruit Loops. God damn it, Adam.
I remember sitting at home that night because it was like
Dude is
moving back
so
down to Toronto the
drunk.
next day, and I'd been like, nah, you know, I can't stay out late that night and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just remember just getting these pictures and just laughing my ass off so hard.
Those are great. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I don't think I've
No,
ever
that
really.
whole-
I don't think I've ever really been that drunk. I'm trying to remember.
He was a regular with that.
trying to remember times now.
I'm
just get
pretty
really
good
drunk
at
with
controlling it, and I felt like I had to because I've seen him go off the rails. So I was like, I have a duty to the good people of this casino not to let him
That's fair enough.
go full shit disturber.
I mean, I've been like, when I was in college, I got really drunk. Did I tell you about the time I made mac and cheese? But I made it with
I've not heard that. No.
made it with vodka instead of water.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
That does not sound like a good
it
idea.
sounds
It
like the
wasn't very good at
alcohol
all.
would just burn off, and you get like crunchy mac and cheese again.
You'd think so, but no. It doesn't even disintegrate like into the mac and cheese. It kind of just stays. So it's just like vodka-y wet
Ew.
noodles. Yeah, with cheese powder.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
the
it was the
nutrition
worst.
for a growing college student.
Speaking of food and alcohol, I actually have a story that leads into a good one. It's quick. It's short. I had also mixed alcohol with ramen. I'd actually used like a Riesling wine or something, a Riesling wine.
Riesling, yeah.
Yeah, so I used that instead of water when you're like boiling
Yeah.
the ramen. So I did that, and it turned out actually really good.
Yeah.
I ended up drinking the entire bottle. That
Riesling's
night,
great.
the group of us, there was a group of about 4 or 5 of us, actually went and played, and I know you're going to hate me for this, played Grounders.
Oh no!
It's just supposed to,
no.
no, and like, it's even funnier is like, every time I go and play Grounders with people, it's always like, been like a year or two. It's always, we're doing nothing, it's a summer day, why don't we just go do a late night Grounders session? And it's always like we get to the park at like 9 p.m. or like 10 p.m.
Bunch of 20-year-olds playing on a fucking park.
Yeah.
my
so
God.
so there's the 5 of us. They get to this park, and while we're there, one of the girls is with us. And there's only the one girl. Her and I are thinking, well, let's just bring like a couple thermoses full of wine. We'll drink that. We'll have a blast playing.
No.
No. So. There's
Nothing
two
else
things
to
that
do
happen
in
here.
Saskatchewan, to be
Yeah,
fair.
so like, why don't we just
That's
drink
fair.
and
I'll
play
give you that.
Grounders? We're not really doing anything really illegal. I get that we're at like a school's playground.
Just drinking wine
Alcohol.
on a fucking school playground.
But
that
we're not
illegal.
super drunk. We're not drinking ourselves to oblivion, and it doesn't like obviously it's well hidden. So we're there. We have our jackets off. The thermoses are beside our jackets, and we're playing this game. And one of our friends goes, "Isn't there a law against playing on playgrounds after a certain time?"
No, it's
And we're
public.
like,
ground.
look,
It's public
we're
property.
No, we didn't know this yet. We didn't know this yet until the cops showed up. So we're like
Jesus.
thinking about it. We're like, I don't know. Is it illegal? Well, whatever. Let's just keep playing. And as we finish playing, we watch, and where we are, there's a playground, and there's this huge like grass park behind us. We watch this cop car driving over the grass towards the playground.
Oh my god,
And we're like,
that's
and we're like-
hilarious. That's how you.
we're
do it.
like, no. Oh, well, we didn't realize how we actually were. We look over and we're like, do we move? And we're like all talking like loudly enough to each other. Like, do we leave? Like, do we like walk away? And all of a sudden, from behind us, we hear, everyone put your hands up. I have a dog. No one run.
Oh my god.
We turn and we look, and this officer is standing there with like a massive fucking German Shepherd. And we're like, yeah, okay, we're all getting okay, whatever. I mean, I guess we played on a playground late at night. Good job, we did it. So they tell us to go and sit on the grass on a hill. So we're all sitting down. We're all just like looking at the playground, and me and the other girl are like, I hope, dear God, they don't go to those thermoses. Holy shit, it's all over. We're about to get fucked. And all of a sudden, where the guy came with the dog, because like one of our friends like, oh, that's a cute dog, and he's like, don't go near it, it'll bite you. And it's like, okay, sits down. Another officer comes walking up. The guy gets out of the cop car while it's still on the grass, and this is by the school that Jack went to elementary school. Just so that Jack has an understanding.
You guys know,
of
right?
this happened.
Yeah.
But this is so that Jack can relate. We were on the middle playground there.
Yeah.
And over the field by your elementary school, this cop car comes. And then by the brown school behind us is where the guy with the dog. And so there's 3 officers, and they're all looking at us. And we're all just sitting here like, what seems to be the problem? And I'm probably the biggest out of the 5 of us. All the other 4 are like skinny and lanky and like tall. And I'm
So
just
I
like,
wasn't there.
No. I am like the biggest person there, and I weigh like, at the time I weigh like 170 pounds. So they come up and say, yeah, we just got a reporting of like a car break-in, a carjacking, and a break-in just like a couple blocks over.
Cam, your friend was visiting.
And
Oh my god, he was.
And
Just got back from the casino.
The description of the three of them was there was two females and a male, and they were very husky and darker skin. And all of us that are sitting here, there's one Asian guy, and everyone else is super white, super tall, and super skinny. And I'm like, I'm the biggest one out of all of us, and I don't even look that husky. And they're like, yeah, we know that we have the wrong group of kids. And they're like, well, what are you guys doing out here? Well, we were all playing Grounders. Is that what we say? Like just like super cheerful. That's what we say to them. And they all go, okay, have a good night, guys. And we're like, as they're about to leave, I'm like, hey, is there a rule against us being able to like play here after, because it's after midnight? And they're like, nah.
Yeah, because after hours or after a certain amount of time after hours, most playgrounds, even if they're attached to schools, are considered public grounds. But I mean, if you're there acting suspiciously, especially if it's one that's like within 10 feet of the wall of a school, like it's on property, and you're acting suspiciously, you can expect to get the police at least called on you.
Yeah.
But if you're generally in most cities, I know in Ottawa, like if coronavirus notwithstanding, that if you're just kind of at a park, and you're not causing trouble or acting suspiciously, then it's not a problem.
Well, we were just playing this game, and like we weren't being loud, so we weren't bothering people. It was just that all of a sudden, as we were talking about laws, these cops showed up, and we were like, okay. And then we went back and played for like another half hour, and we were talking about how thankful we were that the thermoses didn't get found. And one of the people that was with us didn't know about the thermoses. And like the look on their face after we told them after the cops left was like, oh my god. So like, yeah, we played for another like half hour, and then we drove back to whatever the person's house that we were partying at, and we kept partying for a bit longer. But yeah, it was a good break, cooking with some alcohol, having some good drinks, and getting the police just to come search a bunch of kids playing grounders. Yeah, it was a good one.
Amazing.
That reminds me of a story that I really wish I could tell on the podcast, but unfortunately I can't. So I'll tell it to you guys after. Does anyone else have anything?
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't think I have shit really.
Really?
I have a couple more.
The craziest I have from school was I was trying to hang out with this kid over summer break, and I was waiting for him. I was waiting for like an hour, and he wasn't showing up. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm texting him. I'm getting no response, and I'm just riding around the park on my bike. And it was like days when, sometimes there wasn't very good service or, Wi-Fi or whatever, and
people ghosted
5G.
you, and
exactly,
you just didn't
right?
know that you were getting ghosted.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. I'll give him some time. I'll wait here. Anyway, he shows up. I was like, where the fuck were you? It's been like a fucking hour. He goes, yeah. He's like, I was just selling. Some kid asked me to buy, asked to buy weed off of me. And I was like, what? And I'm like, we're in grade 7. What the fuck were you talking about? He's like, yeah, this little grade 4 kid was like, hey, I want to buy some weed. And I was like, I don't have weed. And he's like, yeah, you do. And so he was like, well, so I went home and I got a Ziploc bag and I put some leaves in it, and then I just brought it back. And he gave me $20 for it. I'm like,
oh my god,
dude, he actually was trying to buy weed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love little kids that do stupid shit like that.
I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah. And I'm like in grade 7, and I've never been anything like near anything like this. And I was like, well, aren't you worried like you'll get in shit? He's like, what's he gonna do? Call the police on him trying to buy weed? It's like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, your officer, charge me with fraud if you must, but I just didn't feel like selling weed to a kid, I did spend the $20, and you're not getting it back though.
Actually, if the kid is in grade 4, based on Canada law, he can't be charged with anything because he's under the age of 12.
Yeah,
true,
exactly.
But still,
somebody's parents would be.
I love the idea though of this kid going home and just trying to light up a couple leaves.
He just eats it.
So he's sitting there. He's like, I'm gonna roll this up, and I'm gonna fucking light the shit out of this.
I bet he got a piece of paper and he just wrapped them all up in this piece of paper.
Oh my god! Did I tell you guys about the toilet paper joints?
No.
Oh, great! I have a story.
Okay, I have one to follow it up, but yeah, go on.
I also have one.
So in first year of college, I had 2 roommates, and one of them was fine, and like we're still friends now. But the other one was just kind of like, he was just kind of a dick, and he was also really lazy. So throughout like the first little while in the year,
you know, Cameron, I didn't know I was your roommate, but okay.
So like throughout like the beginning of the year, he would just kind of be up really late, like yelling at his video games like he was 6. And this guy was like the oldest out of any of us. He was like I think 22, 23 at this point.
Yeah.
I had to tell him to like quiet down a couple times and all this. I'll preface this by saying this: we lived on like in a building that was just like you had roommates in this building, and he had like a friend he had been in college with for like 4 years he had been there, that lived around the hall from us. And he ended up randomly in a room with us. So I'm not sure what went on there, but like his friend was always in our room and shit.
Oh no.
So sometimes like he would smoke, but he would be doing it not in his room. We originally thought it was in his room, and it would just smell up the place, and we'd be like, okay, like what are we gonna do about this? We don't have any proof of him actually doing it, so like aside from like the smell, because like he's just smoking in our unit and all that stuff.
Right.
Like one day, I think it might have been in like October, I'm walking back from one of my classes, and the one roommate messages me. He's like, "You in res?" I'm like, "I'm on my way. Why?" He's like, "I think you got to see this." So I get up to my room, and he's kind of waiting outside the washroom. He just points to the ground. He's like, "Check this out." And just on the ground is half a toilet paper joint that's been burnt.
Oh, gross.
Oh.
So,
no.
What he did, because we were going through toilet paper really, really quickly. So what he was doing was he thought that the fan in the washroom we had would suck the air out and push it out.
Oh, no.
But that's not how the fans work.
No.
So he would smoke in our bathroom, with the fan on and all that stuff, and then go back into his room. But eventually he ran out of rolling paper, so he just started using our toilet paper instead.
Good.
Oh, yes.
So we finally said to him, "It's like,
reuse,
listen, we don't care if you're
recycle.
smoking, just don't do it in here." He's
Yeah.
like, otherwise we're gonna have to talk to the RA. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine." And he was like all panicking because we found his toilet paper joint.
That's great.
Oh.
His TPJ, bro.
His TPJ.
Smoking fat
my
TPJs on Amish.
My buddy made a gravity bong.
No.
Out. It was a toilet gravity bong. He realized.
I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me.
Okay, so
Yes.
he realized if he took a toilet
Oh,
bottle,
come hit this ceramic, bro.
That's some Anton shit.
he realized if he could cut the bottom off a 2-liter bottle and then take the top off the back of the toilet and stick it in there. And when he flushed the toilet, it would suck the smoke in.
That's brilliant.
And then as as the toilet refills, it pushes the smoke out, so you have to smoke it.
That's the funniest shit I've ever heard.
That's genius.
Oh my god.
Remember you telling me that, and I was like, what the fuck?
Man, Emily
That's
is missing
so
out on this
good.
podcast because she would have
Oh
been
my
wailing
God.
like us too, I guarantee. She went to. She knows people that have gravity bongs. Need I say more?
Oh my god.
Or probably censor out the school name, actually.
Oh my
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, that's my...
Why does it smell? Why does it smell like weed in the bathroom?
That's
oh,
it. That's
nothing.
a true
Nothing.
TBJ.
Yeah, that's the real bathroom joint.
But it's
Could you imagine just rigging your toilet so that you could just have like a 2-liter pop like ready to go?
There's like a
Like,
strap
I gotta
on there.
go
so you
use
can
the
just strap
bathroom
it
for an
in and
hour.
go
Give me a
wherever you
second.
need
but
I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. Sorry, guys.
I just thought he was using it as a substitute for like a container of some kind, but as soon as he said when he would go to flush the toilet, I would just knew immediately what was gonna happen. I was like, oh
Like, no, like,
So
like
good.
imagine he sets it up. He just goes to the bathroom. He takes a massive shit. He's like, oh, gotta save on that water.
You just sit.
As soon as he flushes,
You sit hip college youth style, and you like sit backwards on the toilet so you can shit and hit this bong at the same time.
That feels like something you just see at a frat house.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like I'm surprised that didn't happen while I was living at that one place out by my college.
we're going miles high on the shitter tonight, boys.
dude,
Some
that's
engineer
like
shit.
some Pembroke High School student shit. Oh my God.
It's incredible.
See, this reminds me, the fact that this engineering reminds me of a friend of mine who is not very smart when it comes to the way that they get high and the way they get drunk and what they do when they're drunk and high. At where my partner used to live, Jack actually came to this party that we're having, this backyard party, to catch up on drinking. At the same time, I have this friend who is very short, and she gets high all the time.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Everyone has a friend like that.
No,
No.
this
She is
chick
literally. She doesn't have, but she looks like she's a.
Yeah.
Her
She walked
her
up to me
shoes
the
fit
first
inside of my
time.
shoes.
She walked up to me the first time I met her, and I was like, I remember looking around and going, "Who brought their kid? Like, were y'all smoking?
Oh
and
yes,
my God.
yes,
drinking
no,
here."
yes.
And then
This is
all
what
of a sudden,
happened.
she grabs a beer and just cracks it open, and starts drinking. I was like, "Oh, she must have pretty liberal parents." Like, oh, okay.
And then we're talking about it. It's like, oh man, like, have you been smoking today? I'm gonna call her Shoddy. Have you been smoking today? And she's like, yeah, I had a joint earlier today. And Jack's like, what? What? And he taps me. He's like, whose kid is that? I'm like, oh, she's like 20. And Jack's like, oh.
That's fair.
Oh my god.
So at this party, and there was only like a group of us, like someone who's been on the Twitch channel that was playing golf with friends with us yesterday.
Oh, Rafi.
Rafi was there.
Yeah.
And Jack was there, and I was there, and Shoddy was there, and my partner was there. And Jack, when he comes to a party, plays the catch-up game.
Yeah. Because usually I finish work late, so I have to show up and catch up. So I downed a whole bottle of sourpuss in about half an hour.
Oh,
And then you got to the lemon
my
vodka
God.
or
No.
something, and that came back up.
No.
And while you were doing this,
Yeah.
Shoddy was like, "Oh, drinking games? I'm in."
We did social bowls, but we did the social bowls where you put the cards in a circle, and if you break the circle, you have to like finish your drink.
King's Cup.
Yeah, King's Cup.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I immediately broke the circle as fast as I could and just started chugging.
Yep. And during that game, Shoddy got so trashed, and this is the series of events that happened. She was with a guy at this time that the relationship had ended up like a week later. She whips her phone across the yard. we're playing the game. She takes her drink and she just whips her phone. And I was like, what? And she's like, oh nothing. Okay. So as I go over to like the yard and I pick up her phone, I give it back to her, and she's like, "Oh, thanks so much for that." And within like 3 seconds of having her phone again, she sees that she got a message from her boyfriend and whips her phone again.
yeah, that kind of drunk.
And we're like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm having a great time. And we're like, oh, okay, like you're coherent, I get it. And we're like, okay, whatever. And then she goes and gets her phone this time. And then she's like, oh, I have to go to the washroom. There's only one bathroom in this basement apartment. So she goes downstairs, and then we're like, oh, we're all kind of wrapping up, and we're all gonna go pass out right away, and like, we're all trash at this point. So we go downstairs. Jack is set up on one of the couches, the smaller of the two couches. Rafi is set up on the bigger of the two couches, and just so you can imagine this, Rafi is like 5'8", and Jack is easily 6'3".
Me?
Yeah, like, what are you, 6'2", 6'3"?
I'm 6'5".
Fucking even taller than I am. And Jack sets up on this 2-person couch just across this entire thing, saying, "Oh, this is the best couch ever." And then Raffy passes out on the other. Like, everyone's setting up for bed, and I'm like, wow, Shawty's taking a long time in the bathroom. And I remember opening the door, and she's passed out on the ground. I don't want to discuss what else I saw. I just like
Oh, no.
I remember
no.
I just remember like opening the door, closing the door, and going, okay, my partner's passed out. We got to get her out of there because I got to go pee, and I'm not going to go peeing over her. Mm-hmm. So I open the door, and I bring her out, and I put her on the dog bed. And she fit on the dog bed perfectly, and I put a blanket over her.
How kind of him.
And I remember waking up the next day, and that was the day that Jack and I and Raffy and everyone watched like 3 or 4 episodes of that, like, it's like a British show where all these kids are in like juvenile detention and they all get like yes. Yeah. And only the first season was like really good on that show. Yeah. Well, anyways, we were watching Misfits. We watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes of it. And Shawty kind of like looks around and goes, guys, I can't find my phone. So we proceed to tear apart this house. This like basement apartment. We tore it apart for an hour and a half. Everyone looking where everyone looked. Like, if one person checked the bathroom, we all checked the bathroom. No, we never found the phone. We never found the phone.
God.
We checked under the deck. We checked the entire backyard in case she threw it again. We watched because she went and picked up the phone and went into the house. But we don't know if she picked up the phone and threw it in the trash and went in the house. And that's the most believable story that we have because we have no clue where she hid it, and she was too drunk to remember where she hid it.
Oh my god.
So we searched for like all morning, then we said, fuck it, we're gonna keep watching Misfits. Everyone, leaves after a while, and then it's just me and my partner. We're looking around this house for this phone, and we don't get it. We're like, okay, we're looking for this phone, whatever. And my partner remembers going to school with her now ex-boyfriend. So her boyfriend messages my partner and goes, hey, Shawty left her phone at your place and says it's missing. And my partner's like, yeah, like we've searched for like 2 hours. We can't find it. Like, we've looked everywhere. And he goes, and like, a lot of us don't like the guy. We're not in good terms with him. And he goes, yeah, well, I'm going to come over and I'm going to take a look around. Like, I'm just going to look through everything and find it. To which we respond going, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. We
don't know you, and no one likes you. We're not going to have you come into our house, search the bathroom, search the personal bedrooms, search the kitchen, the living room, the back room. We've had 5 of us search the entire house for 2 hours. We had 5 of us search the backyard for this 2 hours. I don't think you're going to find something that none of us could find, especially when we put ourselves in her shoes. I remember that. We all got on our knees. We all kneeled down and like walked around on our knees trying to find it. We're like, can she reach up there? Nope. Can she reach up there? Nope. Can she reach on top of the shelves? We looked anyways. Didn't reach up there. we climbed the stairs on our knees.
Stop. I have to edit so much of this.
No, but she takes it all in good stride. She loves these jokes. She was laughing with us. She even got on her knees and was crawling around on her knees looking for like.
Oh, it was absurd.
Man. It was a good night. It was a good night. But yeah, we never found that phone. We moved from there, and we never found that phone. It's gone. It's lost. Lost to the canals of history.
Oh my god.
Oh Lord. Amazing.
Truly incredible. Oh man.
I don't think I have any other big drinking stories. I mean, other than like, there is one. Jacob's not going to be happy that I'm going to tell it.
No. We're saving it for a different time.
Are we?
Are we?
Yes,
I don't know,
please.
Man. Seems like a pretty good time to talk about it.
No, because that would go perfectly with what happened at your most recent birthday.
My most recent birthday?
Yes.
Why does that matter?
We went out on your most recent birthday, and you did the exact same thing.
Yeah, I drank 16 Jaeger bombs as fast as I could.
Oh God.
on top of everything else.
Well, yeah. There was some other shots in there.
The 2 muff dives.
Yeah.
The I can't remember what you were drinking just normally.
I think just rum and coke.
I think you were rum and coke, and then as soon as you got into the egg bombs, you got the shots, and you were just sipping the shots.
Banging them off.
And then you're like, oh, a muff dive, and you get a muff dive, and you go, oh, the connoisseur with whipped cream all over your face. And then you take the next Yag bomb, and you take it, and then you lost count. And then I remember counting the cups afterwards and being like, no, Jack, you actually beat your record by one.
I was like ready to take
By
another.
one.
I was like ready to take another one. And I'm like, oh, I'm at 16. Okay. The first time though.
Yeah, he's like,
bartender's looking at you at horror.
I'm only at 14. I have to get to 15. I'm only at 14. I'm like,
The first time,
you
though-
already took a 15 one though.
First time we filled a table with Jaeger bomb glasses.
Empty glasses.
Oh,
Because we were like, okay,
We went out because one of our friends, spiky hair, just got out of a relationship, and we wanted to take him for a couple drinks, and
he
like,
didn't even stay that long. It just turned
No,
into me
he
and
stayed-
Jacob
he stayed
walking up
for
to the
a
bar
drink.
and going, hey, I need 2 Jaeger bombs. Actually, make it 4 Jaeger bombs because I got to pay back Jacob for a Jaeger bomb. So
And then I'd be
he'd
like,
go up
"Stop."
and he'd order 4, and it just kept going.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, basically that kept going on for a while. We
Can-
filled
can
up this
I-
table with all these fucking cups.
can I
And-
explain what I remember?
No, no, you can't. It's not going to be worth it. What do you remember?
I remember there was a giant boulder right near our small table.
Okay, yeah,
I
that's
remember that the manager, that was a good friend of mine for the
Yeah.
bar I worked at, was also there for a birthday party. I remember that I had apple pie from Costco. Like
Your
an
manager
almost
made me
entire
grab her
apple
titty.
Pie. Yes, that happened. That happened.
She
But-
walked over and you guys were like, "Well, Jack's single," and she was like, "Oh, here, get a load of these." I'm like, "Okay,
Oh my.
this is interesting." And then every now and then we'd have Jacob go and lick the boulder because you
Yep,
have to.
that kept happening.
Yeah.
I only remember licking it once. Apparently, I did it like 10 times.
Oh,
Yeah,
of
there's
course.
quite a few times.
We had downed each at least 15 Yag bombs in the matter of an hour and 20 minutes.
That's
On top of like the 2 or 3 beers I had and the 2, I think, ciders or like
I'd
rum
had
and cokes that
sourpuss
Jack-
and rum and coke.
oh my.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it
Lord.
was that Jack had.
Jesus Christ.
I blacked out hard.
So he starts gagging, and he's like, I just need a second. I just need a second. I just need a second. I'm like, Jacob,
I don't remember any of this.
He doesn't remember. I'm like, Jacob, there's a bathroom right there. I want you to walk over to that bathroom. No, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm like, Jacob,
We
please.
filled the table with empties. We filled the table with empties, and then I proceeded to fill every empty cup I could with apple pie.
He starts throwing up, and I was so drunk, I just looked at him. I was like, you had apple pie today? He's like, oh my god. And so, yeah, I had to
We didn't
fucking...
even get kicked out. We didn't even get kicked out. They called last call. We left. Like,
Whoa! You just bombed in these cups and left? That's fucking atrocious. Oh my goodness.
I remember, like, grabbing some and, like, running to the bathroom and dumping some out. But, yeah, they were basically like, you guys need to leave because he's too drunk. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. So they give us, like, a garbage bag. We head out to this cab. And we get in the cab. And the guy's like, is he okay? And I'm like, he'll be fine. So we took him
I
to
actually was
his
fine for the car
ex's-
ride.
We took him to his ex's
Dorm.
dorm. And, like,
Oh my
we
God.
were lucky that someone he knew was there
Oh,
when, like,
yes.
walking past the front door. Because they let us
remember
in.
his name right now. Yeah, he lets us in.
And he's like,
he picks me
like
up
I
as a
said to
strong man
Jacob,
and
no,
brings me right to the
listen,
bathroom.
shush. I said to Jacob, where does your ex live? And he's like, 4th floor. I'm like, okay, fuck's sake. So I have to walk him up all these floors. We get to the 3rd floor. He's like, there's a bathroom here. I need to go to that. Walks into the bathroom. We're there for another 40 minutes because he doesn't want to get up away from the toilet. And I'm like, we literally just have to walk upstairs and then I can leave you and go home. Okay? Please, for the love of God. So we finally get him up there. His ex is pissed. He's got his head stuck in a bag. And she's like, Jacob, please, just drink this water. And he's like, no, fuck you, get away from me. No.
So when I get blackout, I tell people just to fuck off and just leave me, and I like
I
put my
believe it.
hand down my throat to throw up. Like I will just tell people and I told people afterwards, like, leaving with people that just don't give a fuck and just can like leave me nearby and just like pop their head and be like, yeah, he's still breathing, okay. And of course, I remember unblacking out at 3 a.m., looking at the black garbage bag on the ground, looking up to both my ex and Jack on their phones in different chairs,
Yeah.
and going, "Yeah, that sounds about right," and then face back down.
And in the end, I was like, okay, well, I think you got him. I'm gonna go now.
You hate to see it happen.
You hate to
Yeah,
see
you
it.
hate to see it.
I'm really glad that I've never blacked out in front of my partner. I'm really glad. I've also realized that I'm not doing 15 Yag bombs again.
Excuse
an
you?
hour. Oh shit!
Well,
My
that sounds like a
birthday's
challenge.
coming up. What do you mean?
Oh no!
Jack,
Yeah, but I still-
I'll drive over to Saskatoon or wherever.
You know.
You guys can
I've been
tune in
worried.
for a
I've been
podcast.
worried about the day that Jack wants me to do it again, and I thought like, oh, is it gonna happen at the bachelor party? Oh, is it gonna happen at my birthday? Is it gonna happen at his birthday?
The joke is, it's gonna happen at every occasion I can get it to
Is it
happen.
gonna be a
at.
random Tuesday that says, "Hey, you and I both have $100. Let's just keep buying each other Yag bombs till one of us throws up."
God.
Guess what? The way the danger pay has happened, it's probably gonna happen next week.
Oh no, I gotta buy a computer. What do you mean?
Streaming
Like there's
rig.
saving graces. There are saving graces, and I'm worried because on my last birthday, Jack and my partner decided we're gonna do a pub crawl,
Okay.
and I decided that the only drink I was gonna have was Long Island iced teas.
We
And I
took
did pretty good.
inspiration from that Max
did-
Mofo video where he goes around France.
Oh
he goes
my
around
God.
I did
watched
really
that
good.
video the
I
other
did
day.
really good. I had, if I remember correctly, I had like 11 or 12 Long Island iced teas.
Yeah.
I did really good. I got to the point where I wanted to keep going and drinking, and Jack and my partner were both like,
I felt so
"Stop.
miserable.
We're tired
Because we got
home.
to this one bar, and I'm like, "Can I get a Long Island iced tea?" Sure. And it was just alcohol. It was just straight
Ew.
fucking alcohol. And I'm like, dude, come on. Where the fuck's the Coke? Where's all this shit? Like, what are you doing?
Where's the Coke? We just need a
The
bomb.
Coke. I just need a little Coke.
Was
bud.
that the one that starts with an H?
I don't fucking know. It's the one that's by a movie theater.
Oh, yep, yeah, I know which
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
There we
Ah,
go.
yes, that one.
People
No,
in
it's,
Saskatoon might know.
It's an Irish one.
No, it's like a really
the bar near the movie
hipstery-
theater.
Oh, it starts with an F. It starts with an F. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I know which one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really hipstery place.
Yeah, you use it in Minecraft to start fires. Anyways, so
You fucking asshole.
so anyways, we're at this. Yeah, I remember
Fire
drinking so
charges?
many
That's
drinks.
a pretty cool bar
charges.
name.
People bought a ton of shots for me. I remember having to like. I remember 6 or 7 shots on top of that. I did really good that night. I didn't feel sick.
Well, we got to a
I had a
rooftop
blast.
bar at the end, and I'm like struggling not to throw up the entire
No,
time.
we went back to which one was it?
We were at this rooftop
Oh,
bar.
it starts with an O. It starts with an O.
No, it starts with a C. Or was it an O?
No, it was O because it was.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I'll type it to him.
No, I know
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Yeah, because I was thinking about getting a bucket of Coronas.
Yeah. Yeah, and your fiance's like, no, please stop.
Please stop. And I'm like, we're gonna keep
He's like,
going.
you guys bought me out to drink, and now I'm drinking. Ho, ho, ho. And I'm like, please, Jacob, come on.
They couldn't handle it. So, anyways, I remember that we circled back to the first bar that we started at when they first told me, and then we had, I think, one more drink there, and we called it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I could have kept going all night. It was so good. It was so good.
Getting overly drunk.
But yes, I'm looking forward to the next time that Jack and I can sit down at a bar and just see.
We'll make it
where
part of
the-
our cabin
see
meetup
where
Nick,
the
when
night-
we have
There
Cam
you go.
and if Adam comes and I know Poss wants to come, Ultra might want to come.
Saskatoon.
Really? Everyone wants to just fly out?
I think.
No, I'll drive. That's not far.
And we're gonna go up north.
I'll
It's
hop
well
in Adam's car with him.
to
The
Jacob's cabin.
drive from southern Ontario to northern Ontario is approximately 16 hours,
Yeah.
and then from
Yeah,
northern
child's
Ontario
play.
over is 12 hours.
Yeah.
Child's play.
I've done it
So
Twice.
it's 28 hours total.
3 times.
But yeah, you can do it. You can do it in 2 days if you just fucking go.
I did it one time. Okay, I did
do
it
the
one time,
overnight.
and there's like this stretch along one of the lakes as you're getting like sort of down towards Toronto, and there's a stretch along one of the lakes, and as we got about halfway, which was like a good 2 hours of driving, fucking traffic jam. We find out that about an hour ahead or something like that, this kid had crashed his car and died.
Oh,
so we didn't know what was happening though, because there's no signal or anything. We can't access the internet while we're out there. There's no radio because we're so far in the middle of nowhere in Ontario. And after about 4 hours of just sitting there waiting, we're like, well, fuck this. We'll have to go the other way. So we turned around, drove 2 hours back up, and then had to take out like a detour route all the way around. And as we got down to, it wasn't to Toronto, it was, where the fuck was it? Not Sudbury?
Oh no.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I think
that sounds
somewhere
close to where the
Sudbury,
lakes
yeah.
were, yeah.
And we just like stopped there. Or Sault Ste. Marie. No, Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, Sault Ste. Okay.
And
Right.
we like, as we got down there, all the cars that we were stuck behind just drive past. It was like we could have just stayed there and made the same amount of time, but I was like, whatever. You never know, right? We would have been stuck there longer if we were fucking stayed, I bet. So
Yeah, who knows? I think with that we can wrap.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of good little
That
stories.
was good.
And
it was interesting.
It certainly
I
beats
think-
Jacob's therapy episode.
I'm excited to see if Adam comes out here, who he's gonna wrangle. I don't know.
What
know
do you mean
who's
by
gonna-
wrangle?
It'll either be you or me.
What do you mean by
It'll either be
wrangle?
you
It's
or
gonna
me.
It'll be
It's gonna be
Cam.
one of
It'll
us.
be
It's like
wrangling
we're all
Cam.
sitting there. We're like we all pull hats, like names out of a hat, like who we have to wrangle, and it's just gonna be bad.
Oh no.
Like Adam, pick from the sorting hat. Pick from the sorting hat. One of us is gonna be a trouble.
What do you mean pick from a hat, Jacob? You just do it yourself anyways. It's pointless. No, but yeah, like
do
once I have a
cause a lot
car
of
and
problems.
a new car that I can actually, justify working on and
Driving
ahead of
10,000 kilometers.
yeah, ahead of a road trip. But I'd be so down.
Hell yeah.
That'd be super fun. It's like a
Yeah.
it's like a day
Yeah.
road trip from Pembroke or Ottawa, so that's super doable.
Oh, like driving full time kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not a pussy.
He just gives her.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Adam, shout yourself out.
No.
Jacob, you give yourself a shout.
Done. Terrible
I
joke. Terrible joke.
every goddamn time.
Anyways, it's just there. I don't know why. I am
Where can we
Rock.
find you?
You can find me as Rock Liquor, where it's a 1 instead of an I, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram.
Jack, where can we find you?
No wait. McWigan on Twitch, MCWIGAN. Oh, and then my Twitter, McWigan TV. I think that's it. Oh,
Yeah, I
I
think
might
that's
be
about it.
uploading VOD soon, but I'm working on it. We'll see.
He's working on it.
I'm working on it. I gotta
can
figure
also
out if I want
find
to
us-
edit them into highlights or not, but
Ooh, highlights are pretty cool.
I'm thinking, yeah.
That's pretty epic.
But you
like
can also find us at the Niche Cast
Hey, I still
Discord
shouted myself.
and
No.
and the McWiggins Castle Discord.
Exactly. Yeah, and so
Cam?
thank you everyone for listening to the Niche Cast.
Oh my.
Cam, what would you like to
Go on,
shout out?
Cam.
Oh man, you guys can find me everywhere at Unlike Metal. That's UNLIKEMETAL. Thank you very much for listening. I'll throw the rest of the goodbye to good old Rock Liquor and Jack over here.
Make sure everyone go have a Jaeger bomb. Celebrate being alive. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have some
remember that
Jameson.
social isolation is going to come
Jesus
to an
Christ.
end at some point, and I'm pretty sure I've had too much Yeg bombs already.
Fucking sounds like it. Especially
Remember to
see-
subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
oh yeah,
Discord,
and Spotify,
Talks.
And like us and follow us on Spotify.
Cam, why are your
Songster
freakishly
and
long arms
SoundCloud
pinned in
and-
the podcast chat?
and